start.
Recording in progress.
So with the fever zone, I guess, had you guys been expecting that zone? And then I'm assuming you were trying to make like adjustments as the game were going. So like, what were some of those adjustments that Tyler was kind of having you guys do?
Yeah, we assumed they were going to run zone. They haven't in a long time, but just with their body count, we knew it. We did a better job in the second half, I think, attacking the middle of the zone that we weren't doing in the first half. But we also just didn't play with pace, and we didn't play aggressive, and we played into the zone perfectly for them, and we're just super stagnant.
Kelsey had another big game tonight. I didn't think defensively you guys were like out of position or anything, but just what were your assessments just on how you matched up with her tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's never one person's job, and that's what we spoke about. When you're guarding Kelsey, she's so fast that it's not just you on an island when you're defending her, and I think that that's sometimes where we went wrong. Sometimes when you're the nail help, you need to be across more and that help. But, I mean, Indiana do such a good job of spacing the floor with their shooters, their pace, and their cutting, that sometimes we did one action, we defended it well, but then the second one we weren't locked into. So I think that was sometimes our fault.
It seemed like you were able to find driving lanes. Did you feel like the spacing was like supporting that, or just what was that?
Yeah, I'm just trying to be intentional in doing that as much as I can, because I think we need it as a group just to get a bit more of that downhill attack, even if it's not from my own shot. Even sometimes it's just through cutting, just to create that movement, so that we aren't stagnant or slow. So yeah, I was just trying to be intentional about that.
Any more players?
You guys went real small towards the end of the game. Just what did you like from that lineup? Because it looked like you guys were kind of like staying engaged and kind of staying in the game as much as you could.
I mean, I liked our small lineup, and I think it went well against what they were doing them too, because they were small. I mean, they had Vivian playing at the 3, and and they had Didi at the 4. So I just thought we're the 5 maybe, but I thought it was a good lineup. I mean, I think it's good when we can space the floor better. We get better looks. I mean, I think it was just good matchup versus what they were doing as well, but I just think it helps us space the floor a little bit.
To piggyback off the question that Alyssa asked in regards to their zone, there were times that it looked like you guys were moving the ball a little bit, other times where things kind of got a little stagnant. Just what did you guys see adjustment-wise that you think you could have done a little differently in those moments?
I really do think that pace is the answer to that. Pace in the way that we cut, in the movement of the ball, and then just doing something with that 0.5 mentality, because when we slow it down, it doesn't do anyone a good service in that sense. It makes every shot harder. It makes everything contested. So I think if you just add pace to what we're doing, you've got a different system.
You guys have like been having to play without Angel, and then she wasn't able to be here today. Can you guys just talk a little bit about like missing her presence? Because I feel like her presence is a big part of the team, and so just kind of like what that's like.
Yeah, I think it's this season has just been like we truly need everybody. You see it the whole season when people have gone down. Like when Ariel was out, like it was such a big piece. Angel's out, it's a big piece. Flutie in the beginning, such a big piece. And you know, that's what we've always talked about in the beginning of the year. Like we need every one of us. We play such a big role on this team individually. So when we're missing a piece, it obviously is obvious. But we also have been dealing with that all season. So we need to find a way to be tough and play through that and get better and find a way to adjust.
Yeah. Coaches lauded specifically you guys and some of the other leaders, the veterans on the team as far as your leadership is concerned. Rachel, I saw you leading, like not leading, but you were very, active in one of the timeouts. Just what were you kind of feeling in that moment? And just is there anything you could just kind of share, just messaging what you were kind of imploring?
At that point, it's just, we're probably not winning the game, right? We're down 30 or 20, whatever it was. And at that point, it's just discipline. Do things that we know we can do and do it the right way. That's the biggest thing. It's not about losing. It's the way we're losing. And we know better. We know we can't help off strong side corner. We know that we can't go under on shooters. And that's pretty much what my messaging was in that huddle after that had just happened. So just making sure we're doing the discipline things and doing it the right way, because that's the only way we're going to get better and continue to create good habits.
Coach, good next.
Thanks, guys.
Anyone can start?
Coach, I guess just like, did the offense or the defense stick out more tonight in terms of like what you were
A little of both. I thought it was more the offense in the first half and the defense in both halves.
So the players talked about just some of the areas that they thought where things kind of went wrong. They mentioned like just being intentional, cuts and pace. Would you kind of agree with those assessments and just the way the offense played?
Yeah, it's been a theme at times in some of our games where we struggled to score of how stagnant we can get tonight. Obviously, they played a ton of zone, and we ball watched a little bit too much. We had an idea that they would go zone, just being down, limited in bodies, but credit their length and their mobility, and we just didn't match that energy with our movement against their zone early on.
They would more point guard by committee, obviously, with all their point guards going down. What were your assessments, just obviously on AB, but also with Cunningham, just kind of how they initiate the offense?
Yeah, I mean, they have capable players to initiate. I think that for us, we don't really have a team that's able that pressures the ball on the perimeter like that, and so we want to be more containment in some aspects, and so we weren't able to turn them over much today. But I thought they did a really good job of getting into what they wanted to. We made it difficult at times, and other times it wasn't. But they went on a stretch where second chance opportunities really hurt us. They capitalized on just about every one of those. We didn't turn it over too much today, but they were able to capitalize off of those turnovers as well. So they just outplayed us today.
And then with Kelsey, obviously her off-the-ball movements, playmaking, all those things are just part of her game. But just from your assessment, first half to second half, how do you think that you guys did with that matchup?
I mean, she's one of the best players in this league, and arguably the toughest guard in this league in terms of the ability to keep her in front. She can hurt you inside and out. She can score at all three levels. The pace that she plays at puts constant pressure on your defense. I think that she was able to get loose maybe a little bit more than we wanted to, or we weren't able to execute our defensive game plan to its entirety today. We were at times, but yeah, I mean, she's a great player.
And then the follow-up on what Alyssa asked you about their zone defense. Sev, I don't have the box score in front of me, but I think her minutes were probably like around 4 or 5 minutes. Was that something that you're just kind of thinking that maybe Haley or somebody else can kind of give you more of a lift? Or what can you kind of see in her rotation? Yeah, we wanted to give Haley a look today. Haven't really seen much of her the last couple of games, obviously coming back off an injury. And, I mentioned a couple of games ago where it's like we were depleted in guard depth, and now we've got an overload of guard depth to some degree. And so there's going to be different games where, certain minutes are lower than others. Today was not a case of Sev doing or not doing anything specific. I thought she played well in the few minutes that she had in the first half, but we wanted to give Haley a look, and I thought that Haley did a decent job in the time that she had. And so, and that really had nothing to do with the defense that Indiana was throwing out, whether it was man or whether it was zone. It was just kind of a feel thing today.
I think we forgot to ask pregame. You had alluded to it, but I think Barry was still on the minutes restriction, and I guess what was her communication like throughout the game? Was she feeling good?
Yeah. It's there's still a certain number of minutes that she can go consecutively. So we still want to be cautious from that standpoint. So managing her minutes is still key for us until she's fully out for that off of that restriction. So she was moving well today. She was feeling pretty good. So we'll continue to see more minutes from her as we go.
Coach.
Maybe just one last one on Camila. You felt like maybe tough to find her in the low post, and then when she did get it, I guess just what did you notice from her play tonight?
I thought early on she was doing really well of operating in the high post against the zone. I think she started to get frustrated a little bit when calls weren't made, which, 25-8 last game, 19-4 this game. I don't know. But for a team that shoots at the rim as much as we do, for a player to shoot at the rim as much as Camila does, and to continuously go game after game without getting to the line. I think Mill is 28th, 29th in the league in free throw attempts. I think as a team, we're second in rim attempts and 11th in free throw attempts. It just, the numbers don't correlate, and it seems like it doesn't correlate only for us. So not sure what the reason for that is, but that is what it is. And so, but, you know, Mill's got to stay in it and let me fight those battles for her. She's huge and super important to what we want to do on both ends of the floor. And she knows that. So today was one of them games, and we'll get a better Mill next game for sure.
Close up, Brian.
That Allen in that third quarter, she gave you guys a good lift. What do you see in there for her? Because it feels like she was kind of playing with a little bit more confidence today.
Yeah, I think that I think she was more aggressive getting downhill today early on, and sometimes that's what it takes for her to get that confidence of being able to knock down some shots behind the arc. And I know that she's seen mostly as a shooter, but she still has some downhill threat in her as well. I thought she played well defensively too, with her length and with that ability. So she gave us some good minutes today, and I know that it's been a stretch for her and Kia of not, you know, having that shot going in, but it was similar to what it was earlier in the season for Kia and kind of midway for Beck, and then those tides turned, and they have turned at times during the season. So we still have confidence in them to take and make those shots when they're available, and you know, it's just a matter of them staying confident.
Thanks, everyone.